definitely
Within
not
the realms
out
of-
of the realm of possibility that aliens come and visit us. Like that from other planets. You know, like that is real simple for me to grasp.
Or
you know.
we visit ourselves from the future, you know.
I don't know about that. Okay, so...
That's a big possibility.
Sure. I'm sure it is. Let's stick to the actual green man at the moment.
One of the stories that you hear about a lot is that these aliens have got to the point where they've got something wrong with their genetics and they need some of our genes to try to get on track again because they've lost some things.
So what's...
Do you know anything about the Anunnaki theory by Zecharia Sitchin?
Yeah,
what do you think about
I
that?
think his stuff's a bit far out.
Well, it's definitely pretty crazy.
But
it all revolves around Planet X.
There could be something in it.
It all revolves around Nibiru.
And I don't know if that's ever turned up, has it? They're talking about it coming.
And they say it's supposed to be here now, but I can't. You know, you should
I
be able
can't
to
see it.
Like,
I've
but
seen two
they say
suns,
it's just supposed to be underneath the sun, and you can't see it with the naked eye. And like, I don't know, I can't see it, so.
There is some stuff that's been seen. Like, there's a lot of
I've heard
solar flares.
Solar flares is
solar flares are a big one.
Of the big things.
People are getting really good solar images.
Yeah.
And they're getting things that look like big flying saucers near the sun.
Oh, really?
And how come they're not getting fried?
Yeah.
They're a bit too close.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
But those images are coming out of NASA.
Yeah, I would like it. There was image from the Hubble. There's many images from the Hubble Space Telescope. They're just looking at deep space, and these astronauts are going, "You guys seeing this?" And there's like literally hundreds of moving objects, and there's like some. I wouldn't even.
Oh, you're talking about the tether footage?
No, the tether footage. Yeah, the tether footage.
That's one of the best. I just burst into laughter when I saw it.
I nearly cried. It gave me shivers. I was like, are you serious? So what they did is they sent this tether, and this tether is this really long, this sort of thin. Well, in the context of long and thin in space, but what is it? 6 miles long or something?
17 kilometres.
17 kilometres long. This cable, and they just sent it out into space, and they videoed it, and then sooner or later, just all these ships started. All these like moving around and objects and different shaped objects just start coming up and just checking it out. And there is like 50 or 60, and some of the objects, this is a 17 kilometre long thing, some of the objects coming to check it out are like, maybe an eighth the size of it. So we're talking about like 3 kilometre long spacecrafts that are coming to just and just looking at it, and it goes on, and the astronauts are like, are you guys seeing what we're seeing? And they're like, Houston's like, yes, we've got that. We're not sure what it is, but like
one of them says, I think we've got a bit of debris that follows us around and a bit of is that video fuzz?
This video fuzz. They're trying to downplay it, but there's like these things just. Morphing in and out and just appearing and escaping and like. So
the question is, if the military know that these things are happening and there's this stuff is going on, why is it being kept secret? Why are they so determined?
They're saying that they're not keeping it secret, that all that stuff is out there for people to see.
Yeah, no,
but it would be front page news, and it should be interesting to people.
I tried to get them to show some of that footage on a TV program, and they asked me to go on to Channel 10 and talk about this subject, and I took the footage with me for them to show, and they'd only show a couple of seconds. They wouldn't even. They're scared of copyright. I mean, it belongs to NASA. It means it belongs to the American public because they pay for it. There's no copyright on it. It's on the internet, but TV channels won't even go into it and talk about it. But that footage. Look, what happened was NASA had a space shuttle going around, and they wanted to do an experiment. Now you know how you generate electricity. You get a copper wire, you make a coil, and you pass it through a magnetic field, and you get electricity. Well, they figured, look, we're in orbit. We're orbiting the Earth. The Earth is a gravitational field, and it has a magnetosphere and everything. And we're travelling around. We're going 80,000 kilometres an hour. What if we have a wire sticking out from the spaceship, right? And they put a satellite on the end of it. It was $100 million Italian satellite with all these instruments and stuff inside it. $100 million satellite on the end of this cable, which was 17 kilometres long. And so they were doing it to measure, to see how much power would be generated by being in orbit. Just by having this line sticking out, you could get electricity to run your spaceship. You've got 6,000 volts DC.
Wow. Just from a wire being out.
Just because they were in orbit. 6,000 volts. And you know what? The cable snapped. And they lost $100 million satellite just drifted off into space. Now, what they don't tell you in the footage, when you watch that footage, is that it was 4 days later that they came back to it again. And you hear the guys, the crew talking, and they're saying, "Oh yeah, it came and went pretty fast." Well, of course they're going 80,000 kilometres an hour. Of course it's going to go past pretty quickly.
Yeah.
He said it came and went pretty fast, but we got it on film for you. So they started filming it, and it had 6,000 volts trapped in it, and it's catching the sunlight. So it's coiled. It was from a roll, so it was coiled for years, and they've stretched it out. Now it's in space. When the cable broke, it's just coiled again. It's just It's got smaller than 17 kilometres. It's probably only about 3 or 4 kilometres, but it's a coil, and it's catching the sunlight. So it looks a lot bigger than just a wire. It looks good because it's a coil, so it's a big long band of light. It attracted all these things that came to check it out. They'd never seen anything like that before. What's this thing? So when they've come back, this 4 days later, and they're filming it, you see this camera looking at this object, and it's just a little line on your TV screen. Then you see there's hundreds of things swarming around.
It's anyone can look this up. It's on YouTube. I don't know what the video would be called.
Tether footage.
Tether footage.
NASA tether footage.
NASA tether footage. You have to look at it after,
what it looks like. It's like if you've got a drop of pond water that's dirty pond water and it's full of little microorganisms, and you look at it in a microscope and you see them all swimming around. And it's like that. It's like they're just everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big news.
That was filmed in 1996.
1996.
It's never been on the news.
Yeah, never been on
knows
the news.
about it.
I think that's like the elephant in the room. Okay, let's be serious. How is this planet organised? How is it run? We've got this economic system that keeps people at the top in power, and they're the ones that call the shots. And the last thing that they want is for their reality to be crushed by the fact that because what happens if everyone goes, well, aliens exist, they've got this amazing technology which we can harness and we can use for the benefit of all humanity, everyone's life becomes easier. Okay, everyone's like, we got clean energy, we got, amazing abilities to travel different places, we no longer need to destroy the environment through destructive practices. The reality that everyone lives in this modern day, through going to work, doing their job, coming home, consuming, so on and so forth, that gets broken. That's over. That is no longer. So this is why it's such a big topic for me, because it's a fundamental.
No, it's the core of
it's the core of everything. It's sort of like.
I think if you can explain this topic, it explains the whole tree that comes out.
You're not even talking about the connotations it would have to religion.
This is what he talks about too, doesn't he? He says that the whole economy is based on oil, and there's all these. If we had something that wasn't based on oil, that's going to change everything.
So that's right. It would have to change
all
everything.
All the government think they're doing the public a favour.
So you got this little
you
got this little box in your house that's extracting energy out of the atmosphere, and it's completely clean. Nothing does everything. So your reality, everything is based on this box, and then I can't really describe the words of how everyone's lives would change for the better. Okay.
Unless they're not here for the good intentions, maybe they're.
Well, that's the other thing.
Maybe the
That's
government
what
are
throws me
protecting
out a
us
bit.
from that.
Do you believe there's good and evil aliens?
Well, there's good and evil people, aren't there?
Yeah, exactly.
Good and bad.
I've got a theory that when you evolve to a certain point, violence or domination or whatever becomes. I just can't imagine big fucking battleship spacecrafts going around space and just dominating planets and that sort of thing. Just because they can or they want to or they want to. Surely evolution and intelligence and reason gets to a point where it's sort of like, well, we've got the technology, we can do anything we need.
But I don't understand why going into space from a planet, why that particular change is the one that makes that. The people have to be good after that. I don't get why that point you've chosen. That's what I have trouble with your theory.
Well, no. I just think once you develop that technology as a species to be able to, travel the speed of light, or
But why not another technology we've developed? Why not since the advent of the TV?
Aren't we talking about the battle we see at the moment between power structures and the population? This battle of sort of like, no war. No, we're going to go to war. Sort of like, we don't want third world hunger anymore. No, we're going to keep this economic system running so there is third world hunger. Like this battle we see at the moment of this consciousness waking up of people going, hold on, if we can do things better, which helps everyone more, then why aren't we doing that? And I think that's the general that if you can relate anything that happens to humans to species around the universe, then I think that would be it. The fact that once technology gets to a certain point, if we can do it better and more equal and more moral, then
but
why
I don't
don't
think
we?
technology has anything to do with evolution of a species in their consciousness and all that sort of thing. Why technology? That's just one aspect of life and reality.
It depends. It
doesn't
depends
matter.
what you
That's not
talk
the only
about
be all
with
and end all.
technology. Like
Why is that the liberating and freeing thing that will finally give us sense of
Well, it is
a
for
peace
us.
of mind and the ability to finally think and be empathetic towards all creatures? And why?
Well, it is for us.
Why? For us, exactly. So you're looking at it from our point of view. You're
So-
trying to
so-
relate.
but-
you're trying to
but
apply
also-
our views on everything else.
What did aliens automatically exist out of nothing and then they get a spacecraft and they fly through the galaxy? No, they'll have to go through to get that spacecraft. If there are aliens piloting these UFOs, they have to go through the same process
Sure, you're
of
talking
technology.
about technological, space aliens, but I think I don't know. You sort of said.
Well, that's
you
sort
don't
of
think
what we're
this, but-
focusing on at the moment: technological space aliens.
But I think that the whole thing here is to do with different beings that are existing and not of our our normal awareness that coming into our presence, and we're seeing that maybe things aren't as they seem. Why does it have to
certainly.
be just in space? Like other dimensions might be coming through now.
Certainly, yeah. That's probably a whole other podcast. I'm not. That's interesting. I can't
But
really
it's all
comment on
exactly
that
the same
because
topic.
that's a bit too out of my. That's a bit too out of my room. Can you add
Sorry.
into whatever we're talking
Look,
about?
what I was trying to say before, look at those Hubble photos of the universe and how big the universe is and everything. And if you were in one of those distant places, you might as well be in another dimension.
Certainly.
Because with the technology we have, you can't move around.
Yeah.
If you could move around, like these little guys who visit us can, or seem to be
Yeah.
able to, then it's like they're from another dimension and another time.
Yeah,
And they can just pop in
certainly.
and out.
But like I sort of say, when people, because we are not at the point, we are still monkey-brained creatures who cannot concept the grasp of the concept of the universe and the way it actually works. And an example I like to say is that apparently there are more planets, more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the beaches around the world. And now, just a story that's come out is that there are actually more dead stars. They're saying that there are more dead planets, so you can't see them, than there are stars in the sky. So dead planets, as in dead stars. Yeah, they've been burned out, and only their core is.
Well, they've got to come up with something to make it all make sense mathematically, so
Yeah.
that the standard model is acceptable.
Yeah.
Because there's such a failed concept, the standard model, that they've got to come up with all this other stuff. Like they had dark matter, they had to invent dark matter to make the theory work, then they had to invent all these other things as well. They keep on adding, instead of discarding the theory and coming up with something
simple
new,
basic
they
equation
keep
where
getting
everything else
more and more
follows.
complex ways of propping up the theory.
Yeah, certainly.
So, but that's a little bit different. That's astronomy. I don't want to talk about astronomy.
Yeah, no.
Let's get back to the UFO case, all right?
Certainly.
One of Melbourne's most amazing UFO cases, and you haven't heard about it. I'm surprised you haven't heard about it. About the pilot.
Which one?
Not the Westall one, the Valentage case, the pilot.
Yeah.
I mentioned the name before.
No, you mentioned it to me.
You hadn't heard of it at all. Look, long time ago, when I was a student in the 1970s, late 70s, I went back to school as a mature age student when I was 19, and I wanted to go to uni, so I went and did a TAFE course at Moorabbin TAFE, and that was 1978, the year I did that. And there was that year in October, on the 21st of October 1978, a young guy who was the same age as me exactly, he was 2 months older than me, a guy called Frederick Valentich, took off from Moorabbin Airport and was going down to King Island. Okay, and he left in the evening, pretty close to sunset, just before sunset, and he was running a bit late, and he was flying alone in a single engine plane, and he hadn't flown over vast areas of ocean before, but King Island's a fair distance. It's about half an hour from Cape Otway across the ocean to get down there. He was flying a plane called DSJ, Delta Sierra Juliet, was the aircraft, and he was going down there alone. He had 4 life jackets in the plane, he told them he was going to be picking up some people at King Island and bringing them back,
Okay.
but there wasn't anybody